Welcome back, Nation. Chef Mike's back, and I got a friend, Bre'an Swanson.
Hi.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Bree.
Well, we're neighbors, so that is super amazing. That's how we found each other. And I'm actually a life coach, so I help burned out women leaders in tech create their happiness again. So I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, no problems. And like I said, we're glad to be back. I know it's been about 10 months, guys, and I'm sorry it's taken us so long to get back into the kitchen, but we're excited. We're gonna do a two-part one to start this now. So what I'm gonna do is I actually planned for oxtail today, but I went everywhere and nobody had oxtail. So I went the next best route, was just short ribs. So we're gonna be cooking some short ribs. I'm gonna show you how to do a nice Instant Pot. We're gonna cook this stuff up. It's gonna fall off the bone, and then we're gonna do it two ways. So guys, this is gonna be the first time we're gonna have two different parts. You're gonna get to see the first part's gonna be our baked potatoes. Kind of did a little Idaho thing, like Bree was saying, you know, we have our baked potatoes here, nice and big. So we're doing Idaho spud. We're gonna stuff it with this pulled meat that's just gonna be so yummy. And then on top of that, everyone likes butter on there, so I'd stick it up a notch, and we're gonna do a little jumbo shrimp scampi to pour over the top of that. So it's gonna be amazing. So
hungry.
I know. So that's gonna be our first part. Then second part, we're gonna come back again, and I'm gonna show you how to make this insane taco. So I'm gonna use low carb tortillas because I have been on a diet. If you guys don't know, the reason why we took a little hiatus is because I did get found out that I was diabetic. So I've had to adjust my meals, which I'm very good at anyways. It's just like staying away from fast food, staying away from all that sugars and stuff like that. So I cut 40 pounds. So I might look a little different, so remember me. I'm still Chef Mike. But what we're gonna do here on the second part is we're gonna get some fresh Anaheim peppers. I got these bad boys right here. So I'm gonna roast these, and then we're gonna stuff a nice carb-free tortilla. We're gonna do some of the meat. I got some fresh salsa ready for you. So that's gonna be our part two. So you're gonna make sure you wanna subscribe, stay tuned for the next one. So I'm gonna let Bree have a seat. I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, we're back. So now I'm gonna put some potatoes in the oven. So I already washed these really good. You always wanna wash your potatoes. And then I'm gonna get them in some foil. We're gonna wrap these guys up. I got my oven preset to 400 degrees. Generally it takes about an hour. So you wanna make sure that you have this done before, because you kinda want everything to come together at the same time. Nothing worse than waiting on something when everything else is done. But since we're going with the Instant Pot, we got all this meat here, that's gonna take about an hour anyways. So putting the potatoes in the oven, it's kinda gonna go right, as soon as this is done, boom, we're gonna go right into the potatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into the oven, these guys. Right. So now we're gonna go to our Instant Pot. Everyone knows I love using the Instant Pot. It's so good to use, especially if you have a big family and you want to make a lot of meat in one time. So we're going to start off with going to our pressure cook setting. Actually, I'm going to go to saute first, sorry. And I'm going to go to high because I want to get some color on this meat. So here we go. Here's your short ribs right here. Nice and juicy, thick. A lot of marbling, so you're going to get a lot of that flavor that comes out of this. We're going to go ahead and get a little bit of avocado oil. Start. You don't need too much, just enough to we're gonna get a little sear on these. So in my little spice mix I got here, I got some lemon pepper, seasoning salt, a little bit of Chef Mike seasoning, which is a Southwest seasoning, black pepper, and just a tad bit of salt. So that's what's gonna go into this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this. I want this to get hot first, so give me a sec. We'll be back in I wanna get a close-up of it so you guys can actually see what we're doing. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut up half an onion. And you can just coarse chop this because it's just going in there for flavor for the most part. So toss this in here. Back going. I'm gonna grab a garlic clove, which I thought I had right here. Yep, I do. Just want 2 garlic cloves to go in this. Smash those guys like that. Just want all that skin off. Toss it in there. It's going to be a nice flavor for the meat. And then we're gonna go in with our short ribs. I'm looking to get color out of them. I just want a nice little sear on them. Once they're done, we can always adjust the seasoning, so I don't want to go too crazy on the seasonings to start with. Man, it smells so good already. So I'm gonna let these get a little bit of color, and then we're gonna put in a little bit of beef stock. So just use your fat-free beef stock I got from Albertsons. Shout out to Albertsons, they're always helping me out. Let that cook for a second. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it gets brown. So give me about 5 minutes, we'll be right back.
Are you looking for a new dish to make? Or maybe you want to try a new approach to your favorite meals? Then we invite you to subscribe to Chef Mike's YouTube channel. With dozens of videos to choose from, there's a dish for everyone. Subscribe today and hit the notification bell for new updates.
All right, so now we're getting some color on this. You want all that nice caramelization with the onions and the garlic. Too bad you guys can't smell this because it already smells delicious. All right. We don't want one-sided meat seasoned either, so we're just going to season a little bit more on this side. Thank you to my mom. This is one of her presents she gave me when I seen her last. This thing's pretty cool. So I love using it. Grind up the little spices. But that's how it looks now. We're gonna go ahead and, like I said, as soon as this sears about 5 more minutes, we're gonna go ahead and put some of that beef broth in there that I was telling you about. You don't need a lot. You just need enough to put a little so that all those juices kind of marry. Because once we make those tacos, you want that flavor. You want that kind of beef jus that you're gonna get out of this. So we'll see you in a minute. All right, now we got some color. I'm gonna go in here, some of our beef stock. Perfect, so that's about all we need right there. Now, we're gonna cover this up. Izzy, you wanna come around the corner here. We're gonna do our pressure cooker setting. I'm gonna set it on rib. It's at 57 minutes, which is perfect. Enter, make sure that says high, and then on. So now it's gonna preheat for a little bit. We're gonna get some heat. So we're gonna let these pressure cook, and that's gonna take half the time if you're putting in an oven, braising it, doing all that kind of stuff. This is probably one of my saviors because I like to eat good and like to eat it just immediately. So when you use a pressure cooker, just make sure everything is closed. This one's pretty nice because it does have the vent, the seal, everything. So shout out to Instapot because I use this thing all the time. I had another one before, it broke down on me. This one's been lasting me quite a while. So give us about an hour, we'll be back.
Are you looking for a new dish to make? Or maybe you want to try a new approach to your favorite meals? Then we invite you to subscribe to Chef Mike's YouTube channel. With dozens of videos to choose from, there's a dish for everyone. Subscribe today and hit the notification bell for new updates.
All right, so now we're gonna make our scampi. I'll go ahead and throw some garlic in there. You can put as much garlic as you want. You're not gonna hurt nothing. It just depends on how much you like. Some people like it kind of mild. So I'm gonna go ahead and use about 3 cloves of garlic right here. Just chop it up nice and fine. This is gonna be our butter that we're gonna put on top of our potatoes. Also got the jumbo shrimp. So those, for me, they have a lot of flavor. I don't like using a little shrimp, but you can use whatever shrimp you have. And then we got some lemon and we got some butter. So like that, you get everything ready, because once this starts cooking, it's fast. You gotta remember, shrimp take minutes to cook. So as soon as they're pink, you don't want to overcook them. You just want to make sure you have everything ready. And I always take my butter out about 2 hours before, just to make sure that it's soft like this, so that way I can use it. Because it melts a lot better when you do that. Perfect. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I got my shrimp ready, peeled and veined, ready to rock. You want to make sure you take all those veins out. Got my pan preheating. We're going to go in with a little bit of avocado oil. And I like to put 1 piece of butter in there to kind of get it going. Do that. I'm going to add my jumbo shrimp. Like I told you guys in the past, these shrimp got their nice little natural thermometer. They turn pink when they're ready, so you don't want to overcook them, because then they'll taste like rubber. So you don't want to do that. I'll throw that in there. As that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and add some of our garlic. I want that garlic to cook in nicely with the shrimp. Get a spoon out. This ain't your traditional style scampi. I just kind of like it because I like to put my own seasoning on it. So a little bit of Chef Mike's on there gives it a little southwestern kick. That's going to go good with that meat. And also put a little bit of lemon pepper in there. Instead of parsley, I'm going to use cilantro. So we got some fresh cilantro here. Chop up to put in there too. Give it some good flavor. Like I said, this is going on the baked potatoes, so we're gonna have some green onions on top too, a little cheese. All right. Now this is cooking. You already see the shrimp turning pink. You just want to make sure that you get it all the way around. Flip it over. Once you get it all nice and pink on both sides, they're pretty much done, so you don't want them to go overcook. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and add some butter. When you add the butter, you want to kind of slowly add it, so that way you're making a sauce out of it. So you don't want it to get too hot or too cold. It's just like any bechamel sauce. You want it to be nice and creamy. Go ahead and toss in some of our cilantro. Actually, I'm gonna so I don't get no seeds in here. A nice fresh squeeze of lemon in there. Get some citric acid. So I turned the heat down just a little bit so that way all this can cook in this butter and just get nice and yummy in here. Get that going. See how nice and creamy consistency that is? That's what you want. Perfect. Okay. So now we're just waiting for the meat to come out. Meat should be out here shortly, so that way all this is going to come together. Our potatoes done too, so I'm ready to cut it open. We'll add this butter to it. It's going to be amazing. So we'll have Bree back to try it out. All right guys, we're back. Now it's time to assemble. If you notice, our ribs just are falling off the bone, so I already pulled them off the bone. We have our baked potato here. I got some green onions we're gonna use, some cheese, and then we're gonna top it with our shrimp. So here we go. I know Bree's hungry already, so it's time to feed her. So I'm gonna open this guy up here. And what I like to do is just kind of cut it up a little bit so that way it makes it easier to eat. And all that butter can get into the potato. Just like so. Perfect. Cut up some of these green onions here. Can't have a baked potato without green onions. Perfect. Alright, so we're gonna hit it with some of this cheese first. I got some Mexican style cheese. I like that thick cut stuff, so it's really good and yummy. We're gonna go with some of this braised short rib. Look how it just melts. This is like the ultimate surf and turf here, I'm telling you guys. We're gonna go with some of this right here. Ooh, that looks yummy. And we're gonna go ahead and get some of our shrimp. Take this glove off. Pour some of this shrimp on top. I told Bree to make sure she was hungry today because this is gonna be a meal right here. Perfect. We're gonna top it with some of our green onions. And I usually like to put a little bit more of my seasoning on top just to give it a little flavor. Perfect. Little shrimp try to get away right there. Put him back. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and have Bree come back here in a second so that way she can try everything. So we'll have her be the official taste tester here. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we're back. Bree, you ready?
My stomach has been rumbling, Mike.
I know, I'm telling you. So look at this beautiful meal we got here, guys. So we got that shrimp scampi on top with all that garlic butter. We have that rib, that short rib that just fell off the bone. You seen how easy that was to just melt. So if you're in Idaho and you haven't had this before, I'm sure you haven't because it was my invention, just so you know.
Okay.
But we're gonna let Bree go ahead and dig in. And this is part one, guys. Like I said, you're gonna have to stay tuned for part two because I'm coming back and I'm gonna feed her some tacos with this stuff too. So. All
I don't know how you're gonna top this one though, Mike.
I'm telling you, once you have this one, it's unreal.
Okay. This is not gonna be an eloquent bite. I'm
just dive in, just get it going. So what do you, I guess while you're eating, is like the textures. So that meat melts. Right? That's your.
Oh, you want to talk to me right now?
Exactly, huh? Yeah, you're like, no, I'm good. So,
oh my gosh.
So that rib meat just falls off the bone. Like I said, you can do this with anything. You can do it with a roast. You don't have to go as exquisite as this, but I love short ribs and I love oxtail, so that's one of my two favorite things. But I'll tell you what, that on top with that shrimp and that butter, it just.
I can't stop. I cannot stop.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. 10 out of 10. What do they do?
Exactly.
Chef's kiss?
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
I love this. It's seriously probably the most delicious thing. I'm not just saying this because you're having me. This is probably the most delicious thing I've ever tasted in my life. Like, these bites are getting bigger as.
And you know what's kind of crazy is like, I don't know if you got a memo, but they're doing a chili cook-off here in our neighborhood in a couple days.
Are you doing it?
Yo, you kidding me? Chef Mike's gonna be there, you know?
Chef Mike's showing up?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, they're in for some danger. There's a first, second, and third place trophy going out. So
okay, well, we
you're coming
know
home with the number one spot here.
Wow.
But yeah,
so
like I said, this is part one. I want to get you to go finish your eating.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come back and I'll make you a taco that's gonna blow your mind too.
Taking this away.
All right, we'll see you guys in a minute.
So good. Thank